Hello everyone, in today's video I'm going to be introducing you to Eternal Towers of Hell, and I'm going to show you how to complete some of the first obbies in the game, and I'm going to show you about what the game is and how you can become really good at it. And this will eventually become part of a multi-part series, and in this series I will help you progress from beginner to pro in this obby game. So this obby game is called Eternal Towers of Hell, and currently it has about 4,000 active players, and it is very popular now, and I am going to make this guide to help you become really good at this game. And this game is very complex. There are many mechanics, but I will say that this game is not intended for everyone. It is very difficult, and there are no checkpoints at all in any of the obbies that you will complete. Above, over here, are just some of the examples of what you will be doing throughout your journey. So let's hop into the game and see what we get presented with. I would just like to apologize for the extremely loud music. I think the music is still very good, and I hope that you are still able to understand what I'm trying to teach and the concepts that I'm trying to get at while teaching and playing through the towers. So this is the start of the EToH journey. You will begin on this spawn part in this area, and you will slowly progress through the game as you get better and better. You will unlock more areas which have more of these towers, and eventually the towers will get so hard to the point where people will break their computer screens. So let's walk forward a bit. This is Ringo. He says, "Hello, welcome to Eternal Towers of Hell." I'm sorry, did I scare you? Well, my name is Ringo, and I will be your guide for this part of your journey. Anyways, let's get you right into your first tower. I will explain more later. I recommend doing this tower first. Follow the arrows to the portal. I'm also going to lower my graphics, because the high graphics take up a lot of stress on the computer. So I will lower them, and off we walk. Despite the lack of checkpoints, it should be easy enough for you. Ringo wishes us good luck. Alright, let's go. Let's start by walking up these steps, going through these doors. Just jump up that part or climb it, and these are your first real jumps. So to jump, hold W and press space, and you can continue to hold W until you need to. Just like that. Here's another jump. And these things over here, these are called kill bricks, and they will not kill you, but they will deal 5 damage to you. So over here, we need to jump over them just like that. Just drop down here, climb these stairs, and perform a jump here. Jump here. And as you progress through these towers, you'll encounter more and more mechanics. For example, this is a tightrope. The best way to approach this is to go into first person by either pressing I or just scrolling in. And now make sure to keep the tip of your cursor on the tightrope and just walk forward like that. You can either tap W or you can do however you like. And what I just climbed was a truss. And trusses, you basically climb them, and there's more you can do with them, but we'll move on to that in a later episode. Over here we have our first spinner, and basically it spins. So what you do is you jump on the spinner, and you'd wait for it to spin around to the platform. And I did the same, and you could do the same from spinner to spinner, just like that. This is a swinging platform. As you can see, it swings back and forth from point to point. And to do this, all we have to do is just push this X, and as you can see, it's created a bridge for us. And if you ever want to check the music that's playing, you can always just press this button, or you can always just click this button right here, and it will say the name of the music. Sometimes it doesn't show up, but you can also look at the wiki. And this game has a wiki, which basically contains almost all the information about the game. Just walk onto this platform here and jump off. And to do these slopes more efficiently, instead of just holding W like this, you can jump and hold W, which makes it a lot faster. And always, it is a best practice to avoid kill bricks, though in some cases it's not possible, and sometimes it might be too hard, but always try your best to avoid them. And let's push this X, and now we have our first X pusher. And just like these X planks that we pushed, you push this one similarly. You just hold W and hold W on the X, and when you're ready, you can jump off. Great. Let's push this X here, and we can climb up the stairs. Jump onto the swinging platform, transition from there to the truss. Another tip is that you most of the time want to look from above. Just like this. And as you can see, we have reached our first safety net. And basically what this means is that if I were to fall, I can always catch myself. So let's climb these trusses. Turn around. We have some new jumps here. Now we should also push this exposure. And we will be introduced to a new mechanic, which is a button. So when you press this button, it will activate a path over here. And so why don't we go to this one? Just like this. And if you're ever feeling like the spinners are too slow, you can always walk back and forth on them like that. And here we are on floor 4. Now this should be a good time that I mention one of the most important skills of this game, which is using shift lock. So to activate shift lock, go into your settings, press on settings here, and make sure that shift lock switch is turned on. And it will say on here, and then all you have to do to activate shift lock is press shift. I like to use shift lock a lot, probably a lot more than I should be using, but I think for me it helps because I actually use a trackpad, and using shift lock reduces the strain on my index finger from having to hold the right click button. But anyways, just climb these 2 slopes, and remember you can use jump to make it faster. And over here we have a new type of spinner, where I'd like to call it a vertical spinner, and you can wait here, and when you're ready, just walk onto the next one, or you can jump onto it, and whenever you're ready, you come down here, and then you jump and press the screen button. Now, we activate a new path all the way to the top here, and as you can see, this truss goes all the way down to the beginning of the previous floor. So if I were to fail this jump, oh no, now I can just go back onto this truss, and I can return to the position that I was at. So if we wait a couple seconds, we should be right back at the top. Perfect. We can just jump down there, turn around, and jump up here. Push this X block. Walk through here. And remember, you don't always have to use the W, you can use A and D. Sometimes you might want to use S if you want to align yourself in certain parts. You can always do that. Let's climb this truss, and off we are to floor 5. For these ones, you want to go preferably on the top of the spinner like this, on the 2x4 section of it. And then as you're on the cylinder spinner, you just kind of wait on it, and then you can jump to the next platform at the end. Some more simple obbying. There. And over here, you just drop down, and you're on to the next section. Now these spheres, they spin, the sphere spins clockwise, so I can jump on the top of the sphere to eliminate the amount of turning I'm doing compared to if I were to be in the middle or on the bottom of the sphere like this. And so preferably you'd want to jump to the top and quickly jump off like that for spinners like that. Let's wait for the spinning platform to appear, jump on it, and then jump off once it was at his destination. Here, and we have some stairs. Be careful with that gap. And off we are to an outside section. So basically, an outside section is when you are playing part of the obby outside of the tower. And sometimes these things are safe, and if I were to fall, I'd begin back at the bottom of it. But sometimes they can be punishing, and because this game has no checkpoints like that, then you might fall and you will have to restart your run. So let's just continue with some of the basic obbying. This is also one of the toughest floors, I will say, of the tower, just because it's outside and it contains a lot of the mechanics that we learned. Jump across here. And for corner cuts like this, I like to position myself towards the end a few studs back, and then D and jump, or if it's the other way, A and jump. And sometimes I'd also like to turn my camera a little bit, just like that, so that it's easiest for me to navigate the jump. Okay, well, we're up to here, and here's a perfect example of the utilization of this corner cutting. So I can angle myself here, and I can jump to this next platform. And once again, right here, I can angle myself here and jump to the platform. And to speed up on these spinners, I can just walk past them. And for ones that are going the other way of intended where I'd want to go, I can hold forwards and jump. Over here, I want to jump to this platform, and then I'd like to go through here, as otherwise I will make contact with the damaged brick, and I don't really want to do that. So just a couple more jumps, and we're off to the next floor. Now, it's more simple obbying. And this is, and for this part, just hold S a little bit and backs, just drop back, or alternatively, you can go like that, where you sort of jump off and then control yourself after. Now, moving on to this X pusher, you just want to push it all the way to the end and jump off. Make sure to avoid the kill bricks, as they can cause damage to you. And another example of the corner cutting, so I stand a couple studs back, and I hold D, and I can tilt my camera, I can press W, I can do what I think is most simple. But as you just saw those two guys do, you can also just jump straight like that from the corner. I wouldn't recommend it as much, but it could also work. For this spinner, I'd like to hold forward and then jump onto the next one, and then we're up the stairs. Now, looks like there's something blocking this, right? There's obviously some obbying that we can do in here, but if we try to jump, we cannot go through. So this means that we have to collect a button to deactivate it, as you can see over here in the distance. as we track back, we can now go through that green wall that was once there. Now just drop down here, and be careful of this part, because I noticed that a lot of noobs fall over here, and because of that they end up having to do a big section of the floor again. So I would suggest being slow in this part. And now we are approaching the end of the floor, so just conquer the swinging platform, and inside we go. As you can see, the lighting has changed. This is because of what is called a lighting changer, where the game changes the lighting and how it looks. Another example of a corner cut right there. You can jump like that, and right here is a perfect example of a corner cut. You can obviously do it straight like that, but I like to curve it in to give myself some more breathing room for when I land. Remember this X block? You have to push it. Now for this, these things go a bit slowly. So for this one, for example, you can just walk onto it. I like to walk and then jump off at the end, or walk off at the end when I am directly over it. Up to this truss we go. And for this one, again, I just walk onto it, and then I kind of sprint through it, and I land back over there. Now we have another rope swinging platform that we need to use to access a deactivating button platform. So now we have to track back, and we can come here, and we can climb this truss. Now this truss conveniently leads us to the last floor of the tower, and for this part, yes, you can walk like this, and this is a perfectly effective method, and if not the safest method of doing it, but this is also very slow. So I like to hold forward and jump, and slowly turn my camera around, just like that. And once you're at the top here, make sure not to fall off of this platform. Just walk to the middle, and press this orb. And I would say this is one of the coolest parts of the tower, if not the coolest. This is called a final stretch. And the final stretch is essentially the final lap around the tower, the final obbying section around the tower. And oftentimes it can be outside the tower, like we saw down there, or sometimes it could be inside. And this final stretch is usually very punishing, but in the case of this tower, it's not punishing at all. So let's just recap the obbying like we've done as usual. For this one, the best strategy would be to hold W and space. And if you ever notice yourself going too far left, you can tap D a couple times. Jump over kill bricks. And here's another corner cut. So let's use the technique. I'm a couple studs back, and I'm at an angle, and I can curve in just like that as I slowly rotate my finger, or as I slowly rotate the mouse. This one I can just walk off, and we have a truss here. Climb this one, let's jump here, and we wait for another swinging platform. It's always good practice to wait before you have to hop onto a client object, because you never know when the client object, which is something that is scripted, like that, could leave you. So it's always best idea to wait a cycle until you go. And a cycle is, say, you see this one, so we track this one, track it, go underneath, comes up, and that is a cycle. So now that we've waited a cycle, we do the strategy of W and D with a little bit of space, and we jump over it like that. Now we can also wait here, or I can just jump to this one and jump over to here. Go around the ball, go around the second one, across, and at this point we have beaten the tower. And congratulations, because now all you have to do is push this X pusher and you will win. Push it, wait till it stops, and jump off. And before you win, just remember that this is your first tower in the entire game that you have ever completed. This is not just any tower like it will be in the future. But this is the beginning of a journey for you. You've made it this far, there's really no coming back from here. And there's no stopping either. As you look on into the distance, and as I also increase my graphics quality to show you many of the later areas that you will experience, you think about your future of this game. And this game is really beautiful. And there's many different things you can do in this game. There's many different towers, like this one, there's one over here, here's a really big one, one down there, one over there, bunch over there, and many over there. There's so many things you can do in this game. And if you do good in this game, you'll be considered one of the best Robloxians on the planet. So, this is the start of a journey, and remember that as you step on this wind pad. Congratulations, because you've just beaten your first EToH tower. Congratulations on beating your first tower. You may have noticed you've received a badge, but you also gained a tower point. Look over here, we have one tower now. Tower points are very important, as you need them to unlock new areas and continue your progression. Gaining 2 more tower points will allow you to unlock new areas, so keep going. Now feel free to explore this wind room. I have more to say when you return to the lobby. I'd say this wind room looks pretty cool, and the wind room is essentially the place that you go to once you have completed a tower. Let's walk over to the pad that it is pointing us to. Walk over just like that. Stand on the green. There is a level there, but there isn't really anything. Hey, well done beating a tower. Well, we welcome you to EToH, and you have what it takes to become one of the best lobbyists. Now keep completing towers and exploring more areas. Well, that's how you beat the first tower in the game. But, as Ringo said, we have 2 more towers to beat before we can unlock new areas. So let's try and do that. These towers are pretty simple anyways. So why would it hurt to try? We're back. Welcome back. Now that you've beaten your first tower, it's time to create your own path from here on out. If you need my help with anything specific, feel free to interact with one of the question mark parts around the lobby. One last thing, you have just unlocked the rest of the towers in this area. Check out the elevator over there whenever you feel ready to move past the introductory towers. Don't forget, beat 2 more towers and you will unlock new areas past the tutorial realm. Good luck! And it gives a cutscene, and as you can see there is an elevator over here. And there are many other components to this lobby that I will showcase soon. Anyways, why don't we move on to the next tower on our list, which is Tower of Motion Evolution. As you may guess, this tower is based around things that are in motion, so perhaps spinners. And as you can see, evolution shows how they can change, and because they do change as they rotate. So let's hop into this tower and see what it's all about. Let's climb up here and jump across here. And we've encountered our first spinner of this tower. They looked a little bit different in the Tower of Genesis, but all towers in this game actually look very different from each other. As you can see, we have designs like this, and in Tower of Genesis, there was a bigger emphasis on texture and parts having thickness and many different layers to them. So let's just complete the obby, because at the end of the day, the design doesn't really matter as much as the gameplay. Jump onto the spinning part, and then jump over here. This is a conveyor, and conveyors will automatically move you across. And jump at the end to avoid that kill break. Now let's just continue the obbying. We saw a mechanic like this, so we just jump onto here, we wait, and then at the end, we can jump onto this one. Now let's climb this truss, and jump onto the next conveyor. And same thing as we saw over there, jump onto here, at the end, jump off. Jump across, jump over, and onto the truss we are. These towers are really easy, so there isn't much to say about them, but I think it's important that I try to explain the mechanics as best as I can. So if you do enjoy the video, and if you are enjoying it right now, please make sure to like and subscribe, because it will really help me out a lot and help bring more players to EToH. Anyways, this platform swings, so do make sure to have your balance on this, though it should be pretty easy. Now these platforms, you have to push right through them down the middle over here. As you can see, they part ways for you, and you can proceed through. For the spinning ball, remember the strategy. Jump onto the top, and try and jump off, and as quickly and as far as possible. Jump over here, here, and over here. And again, we have the corner cutting, so why don't we do that? As we walk around the cylinder and jump to here. Now this one combines parting these two things with the spinner, but it should be pretty easy. If we get to the center as quickly as possible, we can kind of just push that one, and then we can go through. Jump over the kill bricks, obviously, as always, and jump onto here. And if you do fall, if you don't jump in time, then you will fall like I just did. So make sure to jump quickly like that. Jump across that swinging platform, and make sure to go around that thing by going clockwise. For this one, you can push it, or you can jump over it, and jump over that kill brick at the right time. Just another one of those cylinders, and jump over the kill brick, and off we are to floor 3. Jump over that kill brick while you are on the spinning platform, and you can proceed. Now we've seen these X pushers. All you have to do is push these, and then jump off. Jump over this. Onto the swinging platform. And now we have 2 spinners here. But oh wait, there's walls. So the best course of action here would be to jump onto the outer spinner, jump into the inner spinner, jump over the kill brick, land on this inner spinner, jump onto the outer spinner, and then jump onto that platform over there. So let's try that. That may sound complicated, but it shouldn't be that hard at all. Let's jump to one of these parts, jump over here, jump here, jump again to one of these parts, and jump off. See, that wasn't too hard at all. Jump onto the truss, and we have another X pusher. So again, just push it. Onto the swinging platform, and just jump over like that. Now we have a thing to avoid here, so we should go to one of the edges, then jump. Push this X pusher, and try and land onto one of these spokes, then land on the top, and it should be pretty easy to get onto here. Jump onto this truss, jump down, and push this X pusher, and you can jump off, so you can do that. And over here, jump off again. This one, you just push that X pusher all the way down, and you can get to the next room. Let's go over this kill brick, and you can jump off over here. Jump over the kill brick, and off we are to, I believe, floor 4. Jump onto this wedge, and jump to the truss. Now, as you can see, this part moves from side to side. So jump onto it when it is stationary on one side, and whenever you feel ready and when it's stabilized, you can jump off of it onto here. We have another similar thing here, so I'll wait till it's on the left and jump on, then when it's on the right, I will jump off like that. For this one, I would suggest jumping over these things, just like this. And I would say press space before you hold W, because it could affect the physics of how you jump, because these platforms are loose. Anyways, let's go over here. And as you can see, there are these tubes that block us. So try and get on this top conveyor as fast as possible by jumping on it right as you land on that first conveyor. Push this whenever you like, and when the kill brick is on one side, jump off. Let's hop onto here, jump off. This one, yeah, it does wobble, but you can pretty easily jump over it like that. Now these platforms, they go up and down alternating, so you should wait until one of them are down, and then you can walk or jump onto it, and once you are ready, and once it is at the top, you can jump over to the next floor. So let's wait till this one, and then we jump off just like that. So nice, we are halfway there, and this floor will catch us from now on, as long as we don't fall into the hole in the center. So we've essentially reached what is called a partial safety net. Because yes, you can fall and you can be safe, but if you do fall on a certain obstacle, like say that spinner over there, you can also fall pretty far down. So do be mindful of this, and let's go. This platform over here wobbles, so if I jump onto it, look how it wobbles. And the best way to do these types of jumps with the question mark is to do them really quickly. So for example, if I wanted to do this one, I try to jump to the center as fast as possible, because the center will make it wobble the least, and then jump off of it as fast as possible. Here. And for this one, we want to make sure that we jump onto this thing quickly. So if I come back, when I hop onto one of these wedges, I want to quickly hop into the middle, just like right there. So just like that would be the best way to do it. Now some of these longer wobbling platforms only wobble one way and only wobble in two ways instead of all four. So for this one, it doesn't really, so this one is long, and because of that, it's harder to land in the center and make it wobble less. So just make sure you have good control of your character, and make sure that when it wobbles, you're not too close to the edge. And I would say the best way to do this is to accept the force damage and walk across it and jump on it. Side, go back to the middle. This is a vertical expression, so you will jump onto this and it will launch you up over there. Just like that. Alright, we're on to this part where we need to avoid these things because they could push us off pretty easily. So let's do just that. There we go. Now, this platform, because it has question marks, I would say quickly try and get to the middle platform that is right over there as fast as possible. And as you can see, it wobbles, and because it wobbles, the longer you stay on it, the more it'll wobble, and then you might fall. So just quickly jump from here onto that, and if you want, you can just hold space as you do. Some more simple jumps. Now, this whole part swings. This, spinner, and this. So we have to be careful as to when we do this. Though it doesn't swing a lot, jump onto one of the spokes of the spinner, and then jump off, and then quickly, or whenever you want, you can jump back onto here. I'd recommend walking into the middle, and then whenever you feel like the timing is comfortable enough, you can jump over here. For this platform, I would also recommend you go quickly by jumping to the center and walking towards the edge, and then jumping off as quick as possible. But also make sure that you don't get hit by the kill brick. Just like that. As you can see, it wobbled. Oh, I guess this is the actual halfway point. In this case, we want to use that same concept of jumping into the outer, then to the inner, and then back out. And if we want to jump to the outer, as you can see, it's moving clockwise, so we want to jump as close to this 3 o'clock area as possible. And then we jump to the middle onto this ball, and then quickly jump off, as if you do not, you will fall off of the ball and down. And then once you're here, you also want to quickly jump back. More simple lobby. Here's a conveyor. And sometimes the only way to progress is down. Now, this is a reference to two different types of towers. The first type of tower, the first thing is a descending tower, where instead of going upwards, like in the past two towers that we've just completed, you go downwards in the tower. So you start at the top and you finish at the bottom. And also, this reference is something called a dropper, where you drop to a lower floor to complete gameplay and then come back up. So let's do that. That you want to make sure that this thing doesn't wobble too much. Now for this one, I recommend just going straight through it like that, and once you're at the end, you can just wait while you're at the end and then press jump whenever you're ready. Now we'll drop down here and we will do the gameplay as normal. And this one will also rotate. So the best way to do this is to go very quickly, jump onto that question mark, and then jump across. Now over here, what we want to do is wait for one of these platforms to come down. When it comes up, then you just walk out like that. And now we're back here. So if we do end up falling down, then we will have to redo that section again, which kind of sucks, but it's not a really big deal because this tower is pretty short. All these platforms do wobble, so be careful. Just jump here, don't worry about the kill brick, and then jump off. Again, I don't think it's a big deal to worry about the kill bricks, but they are good to keep in mind when your health is getting low. So just jump onto the spinner here, and try and jump close to the center, so that way you don't risk the chance of falling off, and then jump off once you're at the end. Oh, this is a tricky part. So how we'd like to approach this is we want to jump onto the center of the question mark once it comes here, and then we have to avoid these two things. So the best way to do this is to jump onto the question mark, let it wobble, and just stand there right on the question mark, because that way it will avoid both this wall and that wall. Now you can continue lobbying as normal. Another thing I'd like to mention is that spinners obviously come in many different shapes and sizes. We've seen the ball spinners, we've seen the spinners like this, we've seen cylinder spinners, and you can design them however you like. Just jump across. Now over here, we'd want to jump onto the corner here and try and get inside, push this, and then we can walk out just like that. This cylinder definitely rotates, so my best way to do this would be to jump to the question mark and then quickly try and jump off. The best thing to do for here is now we need to take it slow and we need to be steady. I expect things to get a bit crazier from here on out. Can you keep up? I think I can. Let's jump onto this one and across here. Let's try some corner cutting by D-jump and then rotating my camera. And I use shift lock for rotating it, because otherwise it wouldn't make any effect on my body positioning. And when I do, I rotate from my mouse to the right to my mouse to the left, like that. Come off here. And now just push on one of the corners of there to get through. Now over here is a bit of a complicated part, and my best way to do it would be to jump to the middle and wait until you are at the top and then jump off like that. I would recommend facing this wall at all times. Let's jump to this spoke, walk across here, and jump down here. Now there's a cylinder here. It's fairly easy to avoid. Jump into the middle. When it's behind you, you can jump out. Now we are experiencing, I would say, our first very punishing section of the game. And this is where the no checkpoints part really makes the game a lot harder. Over here, if I were to fall, I would not be able to continue the tower, and I will have to restart and begin all over again. So we have to be extra careful here. Let's start by pushing this X pusher and jumping off very carefully. Jump across here, onto here, and onto here. Now, once one of the spokes are facing you, jump to it and quickly jump to the center, then walk out onto this platform. Onto this. And for this, I'd recommend just holding W on this conveyor and going through as fast as possible. If you want, you can also hold W in space as well. Let's employ some more corner cutting here. And jump to this truss. And when you jump to a truss, I should mention this, but you don't want to hold space. You just want to tap space and land on the truss, and then don't do anything after that. Okay, let's jump here, jump over this, and then jump down here. Let's use D and jump. Use A and jump. Now this is again a similar concept as to what we've seen a lot throughout the tower. There's an outer spinner spinning one direction, and an inner spinner spinning another direction. So let's land on one of these spokes, quickly go into the inner spinner, push one of the edges here, and as long as we're in the middle over here, we can stay here for a fairly infinite amount of time. Now, whenever we're ready, we can get to over here, and once one of the spokes are in this area, you can jump onto it and quickly jump onto this platform. Now let's jump over here. And we can go onto this conveyor. Try to avoid the kill bricks, though it's not the biggest priority. Of course, the biggest priority is to not fall, because that is a long way down. This is many hundreds of studs. I'd say about 700 and something. So just go onto this conveyor and jump down. Push the X pusher and jump over here. Now this is also a bit of a tricky section, so the best thing to do here is to just jump onto one of these moving spinners and to just stay still. Don't worry about kill bricks. Just like this, it will transport you to the next platform, and when you're there, you can jump off like that. Pretty simple. Now for this part, as long as we make this jump, we're safe. So just jump here, jump over this, use one of the conveyors to speed you up, and you can walk off to here, and now you're safe again. Yeah, if you do fall, you will have to do that outside section again, but at least now you know how to do it. Jump onto this truss, and we are on one of the last floors now. So for this one, again, just jump onto one of these parts, don't worry about the kill brick, and jump off. Can continue doing these jumps as normal. For this spinner, for this pushing thing, I recommend you go a little slow. So just tap it and then walk across here. For these, you will have to transition from one of these to the one on the left. So I recommend you jump here, or you don't. Okay, so you jump while it is on to that side. When it's at the middle, jump over, it will be on this side, and then quickly walk across. You have to be quick with client objects, because you never know when you can fall off of one of them. Like this right here is a client object, because it swings and I can fall off of it. So I jump onto the center as fast as possible, and then I jump off to here. This platform, I can stay here for however long I want, and nothing's gonna affect me. So let's go here, and we have a vertical spinner, I believe. So obviously the landing is over there. So the best way to do it is to try and jump onto the edge like this, stand on one of those square parts, and then jump off. Now we can push this X pusher whenever. Don't worry about tanking any health. And continue holding W and then jump off. And you do have to walk around. You cannot jump just like that. So walk around, press here. And we are experiencing our first backwards conveyor. So the best way to do this is to walk onto the conveyor. And in some cases, you can hold forwards. But in most of them, you have to hold forwards and jump to make sure to get across quickly. Again, the best way to do it is always forwards and jump. Now this one, you need to be quick, whether you go from the top on one of these platforms or from the bottom on the greater spinning platform. So for this first one, we want to go underneath, and for the second one, we want to go above. And I like to jump onto this platform, and then just walk off like that, or I can jump off to this platform. Whatever I feel comfortable with. Jump onto the truss, and jump over here. Wait for the moving platform to be all the way at that left side, and then you can jump over to here. Some more backwards conveyors. Again, remember to jump quickly across them, and if you do need to make transitions, it's the same thing, just hold whichever direction and jump, and you should be able to make it. This platform tilts from side to side, so the best way to do this is to jump onto the question mark and then onto the platform. Oh. That is not the best way to do it. As you see, I actually hit my head on this platform here. So the best way to do this one is to actually jump onto this, wait for a bit, and then once it's locked in at the bottom, you can jump to this truss here and you'll be safe. Though you'll probably be safe with my strategy, I recommend doing the one that I just explained. Once you jump up here, we're on the final floor of the tower. And this is, as the sign says, the hardest part of the tower. So let's not give up. Come around like here, jump here. And as you can see, this is a jump that requires shift lock. And this is called a wraparound. So with a wraparound, what you need to do is you need to get to the edge of the platform, turn your camera, and then make sure you make this movement like this. You see how I start from here, and I move all the way to the end? You have to do that with shift lock while holding B and pressing jump. Just like that. Just jump here. Don't worry about the progress at all, because yeah, you'll take damage. Quickly jump on it. Now, this glass window or whatever, it goes around, and we want to be able to jump, and we don't want to get knocked off by this. So right as you see when it jumps, when it comes back to over here, then we can jump off. Jump over the kilometer, and we are safe. Okay, pretty similar thing here, except we want to stay on the lower part. So jump onto the lower part, push this X pusher, and walk out to the edge. Now jump onto one of these things, and then you can jump onto here. Do not fall. I would definitely agree with this statement, as you are on the last floor, and we are 900 and something studs from the bottom. So the best way to do this is to jump while it's a little bit down, push this thing slightly, and then jump down like this. So the strategy, again, is to jump while it's a little bit further down from where you are, and then push the thing slightly, and then be able to jump off to over here. And continue holding forward so you can, like, make the jump, obviously, instead of having to do some weird maneuver. Cross here, and jump to this. We have one vertical spinner, so let's jump while it's a little bit lower, then get onto the smaller part, and then jump off. Climb this truss, and we are at an X pusher. For this, just push it, and then don't worry about having to avoid these kills. You're not going to take too much out. Once you've done that, jump here, and jump to this part. You can avoid the spinner if you like. Now this platform spins around in a circle and wobbles, so it would be a very good idea to jump to the middle of the spinner and then quickly jump off right after. So let's try this. And for this part, I don't know if it's necessarily a good idea to do a wraparound, so I just like to push through like that. You have to go all the way onto one of the edges of it and push through, and you need to make sure you're at about 100. Yeah, full HP. Now we're on the true final stretch. Let's jump to this one, and you can stay stationary on this ball for however long you want until the health goes down to 0. Jump onto the conveyor. We have one more vertical X pusher for the final floor. This is it, the very last floor. Good luck. And it gets a bit more simple from here because we are in the end. So again, jump while it's a bit below, get onto that 2x6 part, and then over here. Oh, this one's a bit tricky. As you can see, it's a conveyor where we need to hold W in space to jump across, but it's also rotating around. So the best way I like to do it is to align myself with the middle of the conveyor, and then hold W in space just like that. And if I do that, then I'm very sure to not fall off and then have to redo that outside section and go through a lot of things. For this part, the best way to do it is once it is approaching the end, jump to the question mark and then jump across quickly. Make sure you hit the wall for good measure. Okay. For this part, you'd want to go to one of the edges. You wait for it to drop. You go down towards the end, just like this, and push it. Now, from here, we can't really reach the top, so what we do is we quickly go to the other side and jump, just like that. Now, the best way to do this part is to jump while it's in front of us, then jump up here, and then we will jump up here. And to be more, okay. Now we just have a few more jumps left. You can quickly walk across this, and I would recommend jumping off at the end of that. Okay, and there's many spinners happening here, so I just recommend standing here and waiting. And once you're at a good position, you jump off. After this, the best way to do it is to push and then to jump up to here. Once the X pusher is locked back into place, you're safe to continue. And this is it, the final spin. Now, don't try and jump directly from the spinner into the wind path because it won't work. So the best way to do it is to jump to one of these circles and wait till we can climb that wedge. Climb this wedge and jump down, and you've completed your second tower in the game. Congratulations! We have just one more tower to go. And we are going to finish off the introductory section in today's video so that we can access Ring 1. Anyways, let's step on this thing. Wait to be transported to the top, and carry on. And as you can see, it updates, so now we have 2 towers. The final tower we will do is Tower of Buttons. As you may guess, this tower is based around the button that we have seen a couple of times in the last 2 towers. So of course, you want to just push the button, and you can walk through or you can walk across. There's a useless button over here, so let's just press it. I will say though, this tower is a lot simpler than the last 2. Make sure you press all of the buttons in this tower, because that required for victory. Let's walk down there. You can avoid the kill brick if you like. Jump to the middle here. Wait. And then onto the button. You can also jump to the middle and kind of speed your way down. And then walk here. These are wobbling platforms, so again, make sure to stay at the center. Let's go once this is here, and when it's behind us, we can jump onto it. Once it's completely in front of us, and then once it's behind us, just like that. Now we can press this button to activate a platform. Let's go on the spinner, and wait until we are on the other side to jump across. Let's employ the strategy we learned in Tower of Genesis, which is to space and S, and we can jump down here. And once we're far enough away, we can jump onto that. Now we need to find a button to activate or to deactivate this part here. So conveniently enough, there is a button down here, and that creates a new section that we can go through. It did, in fact, deactivate that part there. We're on to floor 2. Now, we'll be introduced to timed buttons, where you only have a certain amount of time to perform what the button asks us to do before it deactivates, and we either fall or we have to redo it. So jump on it, and then walk across like that. Now for this one, we have to push the button while it's on the spinner. And over here, we have to avoid this spinner here. So let's walk to the middle in between these two platforms. And once that one passes, we can walk through again. There's another timed button here, so let's quickly do that. We have 10 seconds. And it can also create new parts that create more obbying, but that's easily avoidable. Jump towards the middle here, and towards the middle, and on the middle here. Alright. Let's press this button, which activates this, and then this button deactivates that. And for that one, you can jump into the middle, or you can jump on the edge and go quickly, whichever you prefer. Okay, this button's a little bit more difficult, but if we were to jump on it, we have to backtrack and go over here. Let's jump across the kill bricks. And now we can truly begin some of our corner cutting. In this one, you can't really walk across and make that. So again, let's employ the technique. Stand a couple studs back, and then as we can slowly turn our camera one way, we can turn the camera like that, and we'll land on the platform safely. We have to push the space pusher, and then we have a button activated timer here. Make sure to do all of those, and then you can jump across that bridge. This one, wait till it's kind of vertical, but just enough of a slant, and then you can jump onto it. Welcome to push boxes. What you do is you can push these boxes, and these boxes can activate buttons, or they can act as stepping stools. Alright. Let's see another push box. And sometimes it gets close to the edge, so the best way to do is to carefully walk around like that. Watch it slide down. Do be careful, maybe don't continuously push it down until it starts falling off, then you can back off a little, then just push it here. Now this spinner is really slow, so I am going to just walk around it like that, and jump over here. To here, and we need to use this button to activate the push box to activate that button. So let's jump to the center of these spinners, activate the push box, jump back via the center of the spinners, and now push the push box. Okay, now we have another spinner activated here. And though it's not a continuous spinner where it's just one straight line like we saw over here, it's still a spinner because it rotates around something, whether that be an empty instance or whether that be something like this. And of course I can still walk across like this to speed up the process. But make sure always when you do that to do it safely and to know that it will be very hard to fall when you do so. Use the push box to activate this button and jump across just like that. Jump up, and you have to do some more corner cutting again. So use that same technique, but do it the other way this time, where I use A and I rotate and I move my mouse from this way to that way. We need to grab this ball here by pressing the button. Do not attempt to ride the ball, so do not try and stand on it like what I'm doing here. This is not a great idea. Instead, you need to push it. I'll show a better demonstration. Instead, the best way to do it would be to push it like this. And as you can see, it will roll down and it will hit that button, which deactivates this and allows us to move on to the next floor. We now need to press 3 buttons, and it may not just be these 3 buttons, but 3 larger, more important ones. So for this part, you can wait however long you want. I will just go. You need to make sure to step on all of these to activate the obby over here. And just you can walk around that, and then you can press the button. Now we'll be introduced to button deactivators like this. If I press this, then it will deactivate that button, which activates that platform. Now let's press this for a better example. If I step on this, it will deactivate the button. You see? So let's make sure we try and avoid those. Jump onto the center of the ball to make sure you don't move around as much. You can also jump over these. This one, just avoid the spinner. This is more important than avoiding Kilberg spinners because they can deactivate the button, which can reduce your progress. Jump up here, across the obbying. If your bridge isn't here, you hit a deactivator and you have to jump down to restart. The best way to do this would be to press this and you can teleport back. Now we have one last section, which is a push box. Of course, let's push the box just by pushing it like that. Send it through here. It'll hit that. Now we've started a timed section. We have to be quick here, or we don't have to be that quick, but it's important to be quicker during timed sections to make sure you don't mess up and run out of time. Push this box, but also make sure to be careful. And yeah, just take that. It'll activate another timer. This one, it's again important to be quick, but don't rush it too much. Jump across, hit the final button, and jump down, and we can get closer to the next floor. I will say this tower has very simple gameplay, and it is definitely a lot more classic themed than the other two. We are on to the 5th floor, by the way, so that is good to see. For this one, just jump onto the button, and it'll activate the platforms right below. Be careful when walking around the cylinder, trying to walk off. For these ones, you have to consistently hold W and space, and then you can walk through the button onto the platform. For this one, you want to make sure your timing to the button is good. So for this case, I'll just jump while it's right next to me, and I can hop. For these ones, again, a pretty similar concept. I want to jump through the button onto the platform like this. It's a little bit difficult, but also if you do fall, there is a kill brick net that will save you. Okay, let's go down here. Make sure to press this button. I can't imagine the consequences of falling down there, though I assume there would be a net or some sort of safety. For this part, land on the corner and jump to hit both of these buttons. Then you would have activated a path here that allows you to continue on. We're on to the next floor. Just go around these spinners quickly. You're not going to take too much damage. And stay in the center if you want to be good. Now this button over here, if you press it, that platform will deactivate, and that's not good because now I can't progress over. Not all buttons are good. So keep that in mind for this floor, and for the future. For example, let's not press this one because that will deactivate these platforms. You can jump over this kill brick or you can just ignore it. But this one would be important as it will deactivate that wall there. Get some more obbying to do, which is both a good and a bad thing. Jump across quickly by holding W in space. If we press this button, it will activate a part here that will block us. Push this X pusher, and you can jump over it, or you can hold W and D to walk off it like that. Now this would be an example of when you do have to press a button. So go around here, through sideways, underneath, through, sideways, and you're safe. Just complete the obby as normal. It's really good practice to aim for the center of the platforms. Now we don't want to press this one, so we ignore it. And if the thing above you is ignoring you, is not ignoring you but bothering you, you can just close in your camera like this. So some very simple jumps, and we have another one where we just walk off that pusher like that. Walk down here, and then it probably wouldn't be a good idea to press this button, so maybe it's a good idea to avoid it like that. I don't want to know what happens if you press it. I hope nothing too bad happens. Okay, we have 4 more floors left to go. And now we are introduced to morphers. For morphers, you would press it and quickly go onto the adjacent or you would press it and it would morph the part next to it into something else. Now I can jump like this. And obviously go as slow or as quick as you desire. Different people work at different paces. I go usually very slow. Other people go very fast. Other people go somewhere in between. So we can press this morpher and it will morph the part over there to something where now I can move on. So it's now a more complete bridge and I can jump over here. Corner cutting there. Jumped onto this, and just like the timed buttons, this is a timed morpher. It will only have a certain amount of time to walk across it. Go 5 seconds, and go quickly, and jump across it here. Some morphers are different, and they can morph one part into a bunch of other parts, just like that. And when the timer runs out, it morphs all back into that one part. You have 8 seconds to walk across. It should take you about 3. jump onto here. Avoid these if you like. Jump to here. And now we've reached floor 8, I believe. So now we will just jump to here and jump across like this. This spinner is a cylinder, so we jump to here, and when we're at the end, we jump off like that. And I guess kind of a similar concept. A good idea would be to use shift lock to see what it's like underneath, and then time the jump up to here, and you can look backwards like this, and time the jump back down to there. This morpher will kind of act as an elevator for this part. So we push it, we walk onto this part, and now we rise up. Just complete the body as normal. This one will extend toward them. Now, as you can see with this beam over here, this morpher will move this part. And you'll see what I mean, but watch this. If I press it, this part starts moving, and it doesn't carry me either. So I need to manually walk across while also avoiding these platforms. This spinner spins in the opposite direction, forwards. So I can just use W, or I can use W and D, which is the recommended method, in case your speed is less than the spinner's speed. Jump across to here. Now here's some interesting morphers. When we press the morpher, we have to quickly go back and jump onto this platform and jump across to there. Just like that. Over here, walk around. Be careful of that. That would not be a good idea to fall off. Proceed upwards. This part, just walk across. And now we have a little bit of a Kilbert dodging section. So press this morpher, and now we need to be able to dodge the Kilberts. Just like that. And once we're at the top, across, I jump over these, and I go down. Again, for this part, W in space is the best way to do it. And we are on to the next floor. This. And if we press this morpher, a part will come around and swing around to here. If we press this one, it'll swing back over there, so we can continue. Be quick on this platform. Quick going back. Now you have to complete this next section of obbying fairly quickly. So we use some corner cutting technique over there to jump around. Now for this one, you will have to very quickly jump onto the part that appears here, and then walk across. So watch what I'm doing. See, it doesn't carry me, so I need to walk across manually. You can go from either direction. I recommend going from there. And now we push this X button, and I can jump off of it just like that. Now for this part, I recommend staying onto jumping, moving towards the inside, and then moving towards the outside to land on that platform. So just like that, and jump off. When we press this morpher, this will activate a bridge over there. So if I press it, wait 8 seconds, activate the bridge. Now if I press this one, I have to quickly go back within those 8 seconds. This conveyor moves fairly quickly, so I recommend jumping off of it once you're just at the end, and then just wait. Watch this. And then I just jump off. And this one, I can't really just hold W. The speed of the conveyor is too fast, so I would have to use W in space. Now I can push this button, Morpher, and I will be on the final floor. You have 4 challenges in this floor, and I will start over here. Jump here, across the wobbly platform, press the button, back to the center of the wobbly platform, and we can walk across here. Over here, this button, continue. Now I want to land onto the center part there, but I can also just land on top, which would ideally be better. Push that, let's jump down. Go through here, and go around. Go, and I can jump off. So let's press this button. Now I can slowly but surely press this button. Return quickly, and now we can continue, and at this point we have completed the challenge. And once you've completed the challenge, you can just jump down and you'll be safe. Let's move on to the morpher section. We start with a bit of a timed morpher that doesn't carry you. You want to jump here, you want to go very quickly, because you need to be able to catch this morpher back. And towards the end it starts slowing down, but do make sure to speed through once you want to get onto this platform. It will also start retreating after those 15 seconds. Let's complete the obbying as normal, and we have one more speeding morpher, so quickly jump off to here, and once you're over here, you also want to make sure you jump. Now we're done with this one. Jump off, and let's try this one. This one is about buttons and button deactivators, as well as fake buttons. So let's move around here, slowly but surely, and you saw how I tapped A and E like that. This button will deactivate that, so I recommend trying to jump over it, like that. If you do accidentally hit it, just make sure to stand around there. Now for this, jump onto it while it's a little bit lower than this, and then jump off. Make sure not to hit these. I like to go to the top here, and then jump across like that. Let's quickly check. Our button is still activated. That is good. Now we need to jump across this, and then jump across it again. And you're good. This button is good. You should press it, but this one, it will do more harm because it will activate and just block us. We've now completed this challenge, so you can jump off. We have one more challenge to complete, which is the push boxes. Start by quickly aligning this push box in between, and then aligning your character to be able to push it like this. Now push it onto this platform, and we'll do some very simple obbying. For this part, you can hold jump and press W like that. Now we have a morpher here, and this morpher will give us 25 seconds, and we need to complete our own obbying just in time so we can be able to push the push box. Still have about 15 seconds, so now we can just push it over like that. And now sometimes the push box itself doesn't activate a button, but we can jump on the push box to proceed with the gameplay. Once you're done with this, you can walk off here, and at this point, you've basically completed the 4 challenges, and you just have a little bit of simple obbying left. Bit. And once you are ready, you can press the swipe button, and you will get a staircase going up like this. And at this point, you would have completed the tower buttons. So as you can see, we have 3 new notifications. We got 3 tickets, and we unlocked 2 new areas. Ring 1 and Zone 1. As you can see, we have 3 towers completed, and at this point, we have kind of accomplished our goal. We've completed all of the introductory towers, and if we were to continue with this area, which we definitely will, we will move on to the beginner, intermediate, and advanced towers. In the next video, I will, of course, show you how to use the ring select, ring 1, and zone 1 a little bit as well, and I will also help you complete your first medium tower to unlock ring 2. But anyways, that's it for this video, guys. If you did enjoy this video, please make sure to like and subscribe, comment, share, follow, and engage with this video however I can. I hope you had a really great time watching. So without further ado, peace, love, and joy.